Rule 51. Master the art of selling. Just as deal making is a vital skill, so is selling. And they aren't always the same thing. You sell stuff outside of deals. Indeed, one of the most important things you have to sell in life, to increase your prosperity, is yourself. Selling is the bedrock upon which every fortune is built. Whatever you do to make yourself prosperous will involve selling. Selling your skills, selling things, selling ideas. You can't make money without selling. Selling is where it's at. Every rich person knows this simple fact. Every poor person doesn't. In an ideal world, you should aim to sell yourself and your abilities, skills and attributes, every minute of every day. Something while you're asleep. In countries you've not only never been to, but have never heard of. Via other people, so someone else is selling for you. Things that are incredibly cheap to produce and give you a really healthy return. Things other people make and finance for you. Things that have a 99% penetration into every household. Things that store, transport, and stack easily. The list is probably endless. But where people go wrong is when they try to sell things that no one really wants. And don't go thinking selling is for sales reps in shiny suits with a nice line in patter. Every time Richard Branson appears on television busy with a hot air balloon, he is selling his entire brand. Clever man. Clever selling. I like the young man Alex Chu, who started in college in 2005. He wanted to become a millionaire and realized that if he had a million things, he could sell them all for $1 and achieve his goal. And he realized a web page has 1 million pixels. He then set about selling each one for $1 to advertisers. You need a block of around 400, thus costing you $400 to be seen. But he sold half by Christmas and the rest within his first year at college. Head down. I don't think so. You can see the result at $2milliondollarmipage.com. And yes, I supported his venture and paid him $400 for advertising my business, as I figured such an enterprising young man needed a monetary round of applause for ingenuity, cleverness, and innovation. Selling is the bedrock upon which every fortune is built. Rule 52. See yourself as others do. If your plan toward wealth means you're going to sell anything, your time, your products, your services, or anything else, you need to be the kind of person people want to buy from. If you want to be seriously wealthy, you'll need to think about yourself and how you come across very hard and very honestly. You'll need to know how other people see you, and if necessary, adapt it to suit your line of business. Would you buy insurance from someone wearing torn jeans, a hoodie and flip-flops, and chewing gum? No, indeed. Would you sign up for surf lessons from someone in a three-piece suit and a comb-over? Of course not. But swap these two around. Now we're talking. And it's not just about the way you dress, of course. It's about your personality, your manner, your attitude, your punctuality, your integrity, your communication skills, your level of organization, the car you drive, whether you hold your meetings over breakfast or with a drink down the pub, how open and honest you are, whether your paperwork is efficient, scary or non-existent, how fast you return phone calls, whether you market yourself aggressively or subtly, whether you're arrogant or self-effacing, what you promise, and whether you make people laugh. And more. Every aspect of your brand should be conscious and considered. Don't leave it to chance. Ask friends who you trust to be honest, to tell you how you come across, and listen to feedback from colleagues and work contacts too, whether it's direct or implied. They might not be totally honest, of course. Get ready to read between the lines. And whatever you do, you must be sincere too, because that will show. No, it's not difficult because you shouldn't be constructing an entirely artificial personality. You're just making sure that you've got the right skills, easy to talk to, good with numbers or whatever, and then you make sure you show the parts of your own, genuine personality that people want to see. If you're having trouble with this, what on earth are you doing in the job? I have very dear friends, a couple, who are among the funniest people I know. They amuse me endlessly with their sharp-witted, slightly subversive humor. Evenings spent with them are always hilarious. Their job. They're funeral directors. When they're at work, they hide the sense of humor, unless their clients clearly appreciate it. But another aspect of their personality shines through: their caring, thoughtful, compassionate side. That's just as honest and genuine a part of them. It simply isn't the whole story. Make sure you show the parts of your own personality that people want to see. Rule 53. Don't believe you can always win. There is a whole list of things and people you can't beat, so it might be best to be cautious around them. They include the bookies and anyone else trying to take money off you for gambling, casino owners, card sharks, racetracks, online gambling websites and so on, the IRS, speed cameras, the government, your mother, the police, your kids and death. Dan Brown, author of The Da Vinci Code, was sued by the authors of another book, Holy Blood, Holy Grail, as they believed he had plagiarized their work. They lost. They lost big time. They lost somewhere in the region of $1.75 million, including costs. They probably believed quite sincerely in the merits of their case, but did anybody tell them they were unlikely to win? It'd be fascinating to know whether anybody advised them not to proceed, as they would probably lose. The reason to be very cautious in your dealings with bookies, lawyers, accountants, and such is that they have knowledge you don't. They are holders of secrets that can enable them, if they so choose, to make money out of you, purely because of your ignorance. And don't go getting all moralistic on me and trying to change the system. These are facts of life. Live with them. Work them. You won't get rid of them. You can't beat the bookies, or the odds, so don't go trying or attempting to get rid of them on the grounds that they are making money out of the poor, innocent and gullible public. Trouble is, the poor, innocent, gullible public walk in there with their wallets open crying, "Help yourself." And then complain they are broke, no one gives them a chance, life isn't fair, no one likes me, it's not my fault, there ought to be a law against it, and so on. Remember that there are sharks out there. So don't bleed. Remember that there are sharks out there. So don't bleed. Rule 54. Don't pick stocks yourself if you don't know what you're doing. The rule after this one is about investing in the stock market. But before you go there, I should just point out that the next rule may not apply to you at all. You might be better off skipping it altogether. If you don't really, truly, know what you're doing, you shouldn't be playing the stock market. Basically, this rule is about whether you should read the next rule. It's all very well saying that no one should invest in the stock market, unless they know what they're doing. How on earth can you do it for the first time then? Isn't it like having a baby or skydiving? You just have to learn as you do it. Well, yes and no. You see, there are people who know what they are doing, and I guess they weren't born knowing what to do, so it must be possible to learn before doing, so you are as prepared as possible. So you want to learn about stocks. But how are you going to do it without getting your fingers burned? It's actually very easy. Of course, you can do all the usual things like read the financial papers, talk to people who know more about it than you, ask advice, watch relevant TV programs, buy books on the subject. Go ahead. You'll find all these things invaluable. But even so, how can you be completely certain you've really understood everything you've read and heard and learned? Dummy runs, that's how. Decide exactly where you're going to put your money, and then don't do it. Watch the markets. See what happens to your imaginary investments. Track their progress. Decide when to sell, and then see what happens to the price. Write all this down. It's far too easy to tell yourself you predicted something when actually you merely noted the possibility of it happening, but weren't sure if it would. Write down what you buy, and when you sell, and what you predict, and how much money your initial imaginary investment would have gained or lost you. Do this a lot. Not just one dummy run, but plenty. Follow lots of companies, and keep doing it for months or years. Calculate your hit rate, your losses, your accuracy. And then, when your notes can prove on paper that you really do know what you're doing, that's when you can start investing for real. And even so, keep it small to begin with. It's not the same when you're playing with real money, and you may unconsciously modify your strategies, so carry on keeping those notes and records, and don't let yourself get carried away. Decide exactly where you're going to put your money, and then don't do it.